Let's see here. Okay. Okay. So, my name is Rabbi Pilachowski. My name is Rabbi Pilachowski. I am coming to you from Israel. We're going to do some really fun things on this show this morning. So, I hope you're ready to have some fun. Like I gotta tell you, if you're not ready to have fun now, okay, if you're like, I don't want to have fun, I just want to be in a bad mood, this is not going to be for you. This is only going to be for people that love having fun. I love having fun. So I assume that you're going to want to have fun as well. Okay. So let me first tell you, my name is Ray Pilachowski. You ready for this one? I live in Israel, but I get to work at Baron Hirsch. Okay. I get to work at the shul Baron Hirsch. Raise your hand. Just show me. Raise your hand if you know Baron Hirsch, if you've heard of Baron Hirsch. Am I the only one that's heard of Baron Hirsch? Raise your hand if you've heard of it. Isn't Baron Hirsch like the best show in the world? It's the best place. They've got like so many good things there. And soon we'll be able to go back. But Baron Hirsch is like amazing. It's the best place. And that's why I love being there. I love working there. I get to work with such great people, with Harry Layerfield. I get to work with David, and I get to work with so many great people. Cantor Ricky. It's like an amazing place. I'm sure you guys know. You guys probably know better than me. I love it so much. I get to front Eric. I get to be there. Okay, so that's why I love it. Now, here we go with this show. You ready? This is what we're going to do in our show. First of all, I want to tell you, okay, this is my house in Eretz Yisrael. We're going to look at some great things. We're going to see some really cool things about where I live. We're going to see like a show where I live and different things. And then, okay, this is going to be the fun part. We're going to have a chance to win some prizes. I heard that only some people like. Do you guys like prizes? If you like prizes, raise your hand again. If you like prizes, let me see your hands. If you like prizes, if you like win prizes, so you're going to get a raffle ticket, and with this raffle ticket, some people are going to win prizes, and the more raffle tickets you get, the more prizes you get. It's like incredible. Everything's incredible. It's like amazing. Okay, so we're going to do first. Okay, I'm going to tell you who I am. That's what I'm doing. I'm telling you who I am. Then we're going to watch something. I can't tell you what it is because it's a surprise. I would tell you, but then I'd ruin the surprise. We're going to watch something and see so many different fun things. It's going to be incredible. It might be that David, he might have told you already. He might have ruined the surprise and put it up. But I'm not going to say. We're all going to watch the surprise together. And every single minute is going to be something else fun. It's going to start off really slow. We're going to be taking a drive somewhere in a car together. And then we're going to see a sign for something, and then we're going to see it from far away. Then we're going to get close, and we're going to see things you've never seen them before. It's going to be incredible what you're going to see, okay? Okay, so then I'm going to tell you a story. And this story is an amazing story. I'm telling you, you've never heard this story before. I knew I had to find a story that you guys had never, ever heard before. And that's really hard because I can see Sophie and Dahlia. Tell me, have you guys heard a lot of stories before? Have you guys heard a lot of stories? You probably have heard stories, right? What about you, Orly? Have you heard stories? The Tzion and family, have you guys heard stories, right? Rena, you've heard stories, right? Everybody's heard stories before, but I had to find a really good story, okay? And then at the very end, we have to stay till the very end, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. And if you can send me the questions, okay, you're going to need your parents' help maybe to send me the questions. But if you could send me the answers to the questions, whoever sends me an answer to the question is going to get raffle tickets. And then you get a chance to maybe win prizes. Everybody loves prizes. And that's what we're going to do today, okay? Everybody excited? Is everybody excited? I got to see like heads going up. Yeah, I'm really excited. Come on, bouncing up and down. I'm so excited. Okay, there we go. Okay. Wait a minute, Rena. You're not bouncing up and down. You're just bouncing a camera up and down. I saw what you were doing there. Nice try there, Rena. Rena's very silly. Okay, so here we go, guys. Ready? I'm going to try to do this. I hope this will work. You ready? Now watch this, okay? This is going to be, you've never seen this before. So here we go. You guys ready? Okay, here we go. We're going to try to make sure this works. Here we go. Let's hope this works. Here we go. Okay, here we go. We are driving towards the farm. And if you see all around us, beautiful desert views. And this is the way to the farm, where we're going to see some exciting things this morning. Here we go. We're going driving safely. You can see mountains all around us. These mountains have been here since the creation of the world, and some of the people that you read about in the Torah have been on these same mountains. Here we are. We'll stop right here for a second. This is the sign to the farm, and it's in Hebrew because we're in Israel. So the sign says Chava. Chava means a farm or a ranch. But what's so interesting about this sign is not just that it says Chava and tells you which direction to go, which is up this road, but it says here it has a Bet, a Samach, and a Dalet, which stands for B'siyata D'Shmaya, which means with Hashem's help. Because here in Eretz Yisrael, we recognize that if our Chava, if our farm, our ranch is going to be successful, then we've got to have Hashem's help. And we have to dive into Hashem. So even on the sign that just says Chava, it just says the direction to go, it has to say the Siyata D'Shmaya, has to say with Hashem's help. And then tells you Chava to the farm, which is really special because if you were driving on this road like we were driving on, you would never know that there was a farm here because you can't see it. So that's why the sign tells us, no, this is our new Hebrew word for the day. Can you say Chava? Go ahead, let's hear. Okay, we are now saying the Chava. Remember what Chava means from the second example? There are a lot of different buildings, and there are people that live here and animals that live here. I'm not going to tell you which animal. Now we're going to save a surprise. We'll finish it now. But here you can see all the hills. There are no houses. Nobody living anywhere near here. This is right now. And where you have people living in one place, there's a place where bird and sunny and a place where all the animals live. So we're going to go try down here and see what's inside. But can you think of a couple of animals that you can imagine live here? You think to yourself about what kind of animal lives here in the middle of the desert and think to yourself, and then we'll see if you're right in a couple of seconds. Okay, we're at the farm. We got here, and some of our special farm friends have come to welcome us. Behind us is Yosef, the guard dog. Yosef, the guard dog, is barking like crazy because while I called the owner of the farm and asked if I could come, I forgot to tell the dog. So he's yelling and screaming. And his job is to make sure that if anybody comes here to play with the animals without permission or take an animal without permission, he's going to bark and bark and bark and bark and make sure that nobody can come here without permission. So he's barking like crazy to let everybody around here know, hey, careful, there's a stranger. And sometimes strangers can be danger. Okay, come over here and look, this is the sign that tells you everything in this farm. When I remember when this farm was being built, and there was just a couple of animals. Now, look at all the things they have, and see how many. Whoa! Okay, so one is the Beit Knesset. They have a place where we can pray here, where we can daven to Hashem. Okay, they have Chedrei Limud. They have classrooms where people can learn Torah and study all about a farm. Because there's a lot of students that are here. Okay, and you have a Piniya as a dorm. Nazareyal is where they work with wood, the wood shop. This is where the families that work on a farm live. Reicha, they even have a swimming pool here. Okay? They have poultry. And you can hear all the animals. They're so excited that we're here. We're going to meet them soon. Okay, they have a kitchen and they have a place where the magachim, where the counselors live. Okay, so they have everything here. It's so exciting. Let's go see. If we had an hour, we'd go check out all these places. And look, Yosef, the watchdog, has a friend who also came out. Another dog came out to watch it to tell us, hey, strangers are here. Be careful. There are dogs all over here telling everybody all about our visit. Okay, let's make the visit worthwhile. Let's go check out the animals. Here are the first animals that we have. And they are very excited to see us. You can see, they probably think we're going to feed them. I didn't bring any food. Let's see if we can give them some of this to eat if they like it. He looks more annoyed than hungry. I don't think he really wants any of this. He's got plenty of it on the ground. But these are our friends, and I'm pretty sure these are goats. But these are male goats because
they've got horns on their heads. Can you see the horns from over there? Well, if you can, they're over here. And if you can come close, you know, my daughter has the camera. I want you to see on their ears, they have tags. And you know how when you go to the doctor when you're a little kid and you get shots, they get shots also to make sure that they're healthy. So that's why they have the tags. The tags tell us that they've gotten their shots and they're all healthy and they're all okay. Here's our next animals. These guys are really friendly. These are a donkey. Now, how do you say donkey in Hebrew? Chamor. A chamor is a donkey. There's three. There's two brown ones and there's a white one. And these animals are really special. They don't give any milk and they're not kosher, so you can't eat them. So they don't help them. These guys can carry things. And when you need to schlep stuff, really heavy things, you can put all your stuff and you can ride on these like a horse, but they can carry much more than a horse. So these are really good animals to have at a farm if you have to carry things from really far away. There's also a great halacha to know. Okay, let's say you're on the road and you see one of these donkeys with a friend of yours or somebody even that you don't like, and all their stuff is too heavy. So you see the owner of the donkey starts taking the stuff off and he's having trouble putting it back onto the donkey. So we have a special mitzvah. It's one of the 613 mitzvahs to help our friends put the stuff back onto the donkey. That's a real pasuk in the Torah. So when we look at these animals, we don't just look at the animals and say, wow, they're really cute, even though these guys aren't so cute. But we look at them and we say, wow, what halachot, what Torah laws can we learn from them? And once I started talking Torah about them, they started coming over because everybody loves hearing when their Torah discusses them and talks about them. So these guys came right over. But be very careful, because if you get these guys angry, their kick is really hard. And you got to be very careful. And their bite is even worse. Okay. Did you have eggs for breakfast this morning? I didn't yet. But when I'm looking at these guys, I think to myself, whoa, I'd really like some eggs because this is where our eggs come from. If you look over here, you can see where our chickens sit and they lay their eggs over there and then the eggs come down and every morning the farmer comes and takes the eggs. And then the next day they lay more eggs. And sometimes they lay a dozen eggs. And that's what you see in the supermarket when you have your dozen eggs. That's where these guys come from. I don't know their names, but they look really cute. And they look like they're just walking around trying to find some food on the ground, like most of their friends do. Before, a second ago, there was one running around and he was all wild, but he's not here. Oh, here he comes. If you see over there, maybe we can, if we go over there, he'll probably just run away again. But this is fun. This is the chicken coop where all the chickens hang out. Can you hear the animals behind me? Those don't sound like chickens. Let's go see what animals those are. Okay, we're going to start with the cutest of the animals. These are little tiny sheep. They're all under a year old. These are babies. And you can hear they're crying out because whenever they see a person, the person always brings them food. So they see me and they say, oh, he must be bringing food. He's a nice guy. So these guys, these are the babies. And what this farm is so special because this farm doesn't only have sheep and chicken like you saw and donkeys and goats, but this farm also raises animals for korbanot, for the Beit HaMikdash. And these guys are being raised for the Beit HaMikdash. So if Mashiach comes and we build the Beit HaMikdash, these guys are going to be brought to the Beit HaMikdash as the first korbanot. Right here, it's called Mitzvah Yericho in the Chava called Rechatiro. That's the name of this farm. Now, these guys, I don't know if they have names, but they're really, really cute. And you can see they're coming over. Let's see if we can find something to give one of them to eat. No, they don't really like this. Okay, we got to find some food to feed them later. Okay, we were just walking here, and we ran into a whole family of ducks out in the middle of the farm. These guys aren't in any cages or anything. They're just sitting here. And they have most of them have their backs to me. They saw me coming and they turned around. So I don't know how much they like people. But this is pretty cool just to run into some ducks. I always thought that ducks have to have a pond or water, and they fly around. But these guys look like they're not flying. They look pretty lazy to me. And they're just sitting here laying out. It's a nice day out, so why not? Okay, we have reached probably the most fun part of the farm. Watch what's going to happen as we get close. Okay, we got here at the great time. This is feeding time for the big mother sheep. These are the females, these are the mothers, and they give birth all the time. There's no 9 months for them to give birth. They give birth after a couple of months. And these are the mother sheep. You can see they're all eating now. And when they're eating, you don't go near them. They don't like to be disturbed. There are some mothers over there that look like they're just hanging out and enjoying themselves. But these mothers are all eating, and they eat this stuff. This is hay, and they love this stuff. You can see it comes in bushels like this. And then the farmer breaks down these bushels. He puts them into the trough over here where he feeds them. Now, here's a special halacha. I don't know if you know this law, and it makes sense if you have an animal at home, if you have a pet dog or a pet cat, or if you have a pet sheep like this farmer has at home. So what you have to do is you have to feed the sheep before you eat. If you have sheep and you have any pets at home, there's a halacha that you're not allowed to eat before you feed them. And that makes sure that we always stay nice. It doesn't matter who you're nice to. You have to be a nice person. And to be a nice person, you've got to care about others before you care about yourself, even animals. So these guys, look how close I can get to them, and they don't even care. They don't mind because they're concentrating and focused on their eating. And I say, look, human beings are only good for one thing. They're only good to make sure that they bring us food. And they already brought us food. So what am I going to need from this guy? So they could just completely ignore us. And watch, I can even pet them, and they don't really care. Nothing. These are really great animals. Let's go take a walk and see all the animals that are eating here. And we can see them all. Now, here's something really great that we didn't see on those sheep. Look at these sheep. They have something that most of the other animals don't have, and you won't see this in most farms. But if you look at these sheep, they have paint on them. You see there's green paint and blue paint, and there's some with circles and stripes, some have red. Now, what are all these colors on the sheep? Obviously, they weren't born this way. The farmer puts the colors on them. Why? Well, for a very simple reason. These sheep are pregnant, and the farmer has to know how many months along they're pregnant to know when they're going to give birth. So each sheep, depending on when they're pregnant and when they're going to give birth, gets a different color on them. And that way the farmer can know, and he keeps them together. All the pregnant sheep are in one caged area, okay? And you look at that sheep over there, she's taking a drink, okay? So, right, they have water fountains and a place to drink. So after they eat, they can go ahead and drink. And there's a whole system, if you can see, with the pipes and everything where the water comes in. So there's always water for them, okay? And you can see they're all wondering, what's this guy doing? Why is he talking so much? Usually people don't talk to us, but it's pretty amazing. So they're gonna give birth, and then they stay with their babies for a little, and then they bring the babies to the other place that we saw before, where they're raised until they get old enough and they can have their own babies and be here also. Okay, so that's, okay, we got here for a special time. The watchdogs are getting fed. Watch how excited they're going to be. Here we go. Look at this. You can hear them barking. There he goes. This boy works in the farm before he goes to school and starts learning. He's got all these chores to do. And he's going to bring it. Oh boy. These dogs are supposed to scare strangers, so look how the dog ignores the food even though he's hungry to bark at me because I'm a stranger. And then look, watch. He's gonna get to eat, but the dog is so nervous about me being here, he can't even focus enough to eat. This is pretty impressive. Okay, so he gave him some food, and now he's gonna go have his breakfast.
Okay. Was that fun, guys? Did you guys like that? Let me see. Give me a yes, no. Tell me if you like that. Did you like that? Yeah? Was that really cool? Okay, great. I'm glad that you liked that. Okay, now what we're going to do is, now I'm going to do something really special. Not as special as seeing animals on a farm, but I want to tell you an amazing story. Raise your hand if you like stories. Tell me if you like stories. Do you like stories? I like stories. I love stories. And I love hearing stories, but sometimes, okay, you can put your hands down now. Now you can put your hands down. I got you. You love stories. Okay, sometimes I love telling stories more than I love listening to stories. But now I'm going to do both. I'm going to tell you a story, and I'm going to listen to the story. How am I going to do both at the same time? How does that make any sense? Watch. You guys watching? I want to see you on. Okay, here we go. You ready? Now, after the story, I'm going to ask you 2 questions. And if you know the answers to the questions and send them to me, you could get raffle tickets and win amazing prizes. You guys ready? Let's see if we could do this. We can figure out how to do this story, tell a story, and listen to the story all at the same time. Here we go. Let's see if we can do this. Here we go.
Okay, I have a great story for you. An amazing story. A story about rain. Well, maybe the story's about Abachokia. Maybe it's about rain. I don't know. Listen to this story. It's a great story. Rain is so important because without rain, we don't have food, we don't have bread, we don't have vegetables, we have nothing to eat without rain. Even animals wouldn't be able to exist without rain because there would be no water. We think that we have all our food from the supermarket, but really our food doesn't come from the supermarket. It comes from the ground, and nothing can grow from the ground without rain. Well, about a couple thousand years ago, in an area right near where I was standing, whenever there wasn't rain, everybody would daven for rain. They would pray so hard for rain. They would say, Hashem, please send us rain. Sometimes their tefillos would be answered, sometimes they weren't. But there was one family, Abba Chilkia, that was his name. His family, whenever they would daven for rain, rain would always come. So one time the Chachamim were davening for rain. The rabbis were davening and davening and davening, and all the people were davening, and no rain came. So they said, we have to go to Abba Chilkia, and we have to ask him to daven for rain for us. So they go to his town, and they ask around his town, where's Abba Chilkia? They say, oh, Abba Chilkia, he works in that field over there. So they walk to his field. They go to Abba Chilkia's field, and they see he's working really hard. And they say, Abba Chilkia, we need you to daven for rain. He doesn't answer them. They ask again, Abba Chilkia, we need you to daven for... No answer. So Abba Chilkia, please help us daven for rain. He doesn't answer them. So they wait. They just wait there. Finally, the end of the day comes. Abba Chilkia takes off his jacket, puts it over one shoulder, puts his rake on the other shoulder, takes off his shoes, and starts walking home. And they start following him home. What else are they going to do? We won't talk to them, but they need to follow him. So they walk and they follow him home. Abba Chilkia is walking, and he takes off his shoes as he gets to a stream. Sorry, he takes off his shoes as he's walking home. When he gets to the stream, he puts his shoes on, and then he walks in the water. And the Chum turned to him, why is he doing that? It would make sense to take your shoes off before you go into the water. Why is he putting his shoes on when he gets into the water? It doesn't make any sense. So Abba Chilkia walks home. He gets home. As he gets to his house, his wife comes out, and she's dressed for a wedding. She looks beautiful, makeup on, jewelry on, a fancy dress. And she wishes him, hi, how are you? Come inside for dinner. She greets her husband, Abba Chilkia, and they said, what? Who? Why is she so dressed up? He's just getting home from work. Sits down to eat, and the Chum walk into the house, and no one offers them anything to eat. They said, that's so strange. Then they bring out food, and they bring out plates for everybody from the family. Abba Chilkia gets a plate. His wife gets a plate. The older son gets a plate. His younger brother gets a plate. But on the younger brother's plate, there's double the amount of food as everybody else. He's a little boy. He gets double the amount of everybody else. They don't know what's going on. As the meal ends, Abba Chilkia turns to his wife and says, honey, clearly these rabbis here, they're here to ask us to pray. Let's go up onto the roof. We'll pray by ourselves. They'll never know that we prayed. We'll come downstairs, it'll start raining, and we'll tell them, look, you didn't even have to come. And then they won't know it's our prayers that get the rain to come. So we go upstairs. Each of them takes a corner of the roof, and they start praying. And a rain cloud comes over Abba Chilkia's wife, and it rains over her, and it's pouring rain. They come downstairs, and they say, come, see, you didn't even have to come. You didn't even get to ask us to pray, and it already started raining. You didn't need us. B'nai Yisrael's tefillos are enough. And the Chum say, no. We know it's your tefillos. We heard you whispering. We know what you did when you went up to the roof. You prayed, but we've got a bunch of questions we want you to answer. So Abba Chilkia says, fine. Ask me your questions. They say, why didn't you talk to us in the field? You made a schlep all the way over here. Why didn't you just answer us? He says, I was working for somebody else. If I would have talked to you while I was working for them, that would be stealing. I couldn't do that, so I couldn't talk to you. Okay, why'd you put your jacket over one shoulder and the rake over the other? Why didn't you put the rake on the shoulder? It would have been so much more comfortable if you had it on your jacket. They said, no, couldn't do that. So the jacket's borrowed from somebody. I didn't ask him if I could put a rake on it. I asked him if I could wear it. So I couldn't do that. And I couldn't wear it too much. I couldn't wear it home because then I'd be wearing it too much. It wasn't mine. I have to be careful of somebody else's stuff. Okay, why when you were walking home, you walked home barefoot, but when you got to the water, you put your shoes on? He says, when I'm walking home, I can see what's on the ground in front of me. But when I get in the water, I can't see. I said, okay. How come when we got home, your wife was dressed like she's going to a wedding, but she's really just coming home for dinner? He says, because she loves me. She wants me to love her. So she gets dressed up every time she sees me. Wow, that's really special. He says, yeah. I said, okay, how come you didn't give us any food? He says, I would have loved to give you food, but you didn't tell me you were coming, so we didn't have any food for you, so I couldn't offer you any food. Oh, okay. I said, well, how come you gave your youngest son double what everybody else got? So because my youngest son learns Torah all day long, and Torah makes you weak, so he needs double the amount of food of everybody else. Makes sense. Okay, fine. The last question. How come your wife got the cloud of rain and not you? Why are her feels so important? Says, listen, I go and I work and I bring the money home to her and she goes out and she buys food. But when poor people come to the house and they ask for food, I don't give it to them. I'm not home. My wife is the one that gives it. She's the one that feeds the poor. So of course she's more of a tzedekah. She's more righteous than I am. And of course her prayer is going to be answered. That is an amazing story. Is it about rain? Is it about Abba Chilkiah? I don't know, but I'll tell you the lesson that I learned from the story that you should learn from this story. You ready for this lesson? We want our tefillos answered. We have to be nice to everybody. Think about everybody else's stuff, everybody else's. If they need something, we have to listen to other people. And then and only then will Hashem answer our tefillos. Isn't that a great story? I hope you enjoyed it.
Okay. Was that a good story, guys? Was that, yeah, you like that story? Okay, now, this is going to be the fun part. Now we're going to get a chance to win a prize, maybe, okay? So let's see here. Okay, I'm going to set something up. Hold on one second. I'm going to ask you a question. And if you get the question right, then you're going to be able to win a prize. Now, look right here above my head. Do you guys see above my head? There's an email address. Okay, do you guys see the email address? Can everybody see it above my head? Right, it says uri@baronhirsch.org. Now, even if you don't remember it, that's okay, because your parents will remember. You'll tell your parents, we have to send the answers to Rabbi Uri, and they'll look up my email address, and they'll be able to send it to me. Is everybody ready for the questions? Everybody ready? Okay, if you get the question right, and you send it to me, you get a raffle ticket. And if you get a lot of raffle tickets, okay, if you get a lot of raffle tickets, you can win a prize. Okay, so here we go. Everybody ready? Here's the first question. You guys ready? Okay, here's the first question. Here it is. You guys ready? I don't think you're ready. I don't think I'm going to ask it. Nah, I think I'm just going to wait here. Should I ask the question? Yes? You guys ready for the question? Okay. The first question is very, very easy. Okay, and all you got to do is send me the answer, and then you get a raffle ticket. Here we go. You ready? Here's the first question. I'm not sure everybody's ready. I don't know. Okay, here we go. What is this week's Parsha? That's the first question. What's this week's Parsha? If you send me an email to this email address, and you tell me what this week's Parsha is, then you can win a raffle ticket. Okay, here's the second question. It's a little harder. And if you get this question right, you get 2 raffle tickets. Wait, don't write the answer in the chat. Don't write the answer in the chat. Just send it to me in an email. Send it to me in an email. Okay, here we go. You ready? Everybody ready? Here we go. This is really hard. There's a pasuk in this week's Parsha, which I'm not going to tell you what Parsha it is because you have to tell me. But there's a pasuk in this week's Parsha. It says, Hanefashot ashasu becharan. That's Avram and Sarah made nefashot. I don't know what that means. I'm stuck. I am stuck. I don't know what it means that Avram and Sarah made nefashot. I wish I knew what that meant. I opened up my chumash. I couldn't figure it out. I need your help. I need your help. If you send me an email to this email address right here, and you tell me what does it mean, what did Avram and Sarah make? It says they made nefashot. And you can ask your mom, you can ask your dad, you can ask your Abba, you can ask your Ima, you can ask your Saba and Savta, okay? Oh, If it says I don't know how to get onto the email address, no problem. Okay, you're just going to tell your parents. Okay, you're just going to tell your parents that you need to email the answer to Rabbi Uri. Okay, so here it is, and they'll be able to look at it. So don't worry if you don't remember the email address. Okay, it's okay. Just remember the answer, and then you can email me later today. Even if your parents aren't home right now, you could tell them later, okay? And you could tell them to call me or call the show. Don't worry. Just write the answer down and show it to them later. So the first question for 1 ticket, and yes, Wendy family, you can send it to me privately. Okay, you ready? Here we go. First question, what is this week's Parsha? You send that to me. You don't have to send it right now. You can send it later, okay? That's number 1. Second question, I need help with the Parsha. I don't understand the Parsha. It says that Avram and Sarah made nefashot. I don't know what that means. Somebody has to help me. Okay, if you help me and send me the answer, then you can have 2 raffle tickets. Now, guys, I have to ask you a question. Was this a lot of fun today? Did you guys have fun on our show? Yeah? Okay, should we do this next week again? Yes? Yeah? And maybe we'll go look at different places? Okay. And you're going to tell all your friends about how much fun you had and they should come next week and watch next week? Yeah? All right. Okay. Guys, this was so great. I love spending time with you. Okay. And I got a thumbs up. I got a thumbs up from Sophie and Dahlia. All right. Wow, it makes me feel so good. A thumbs up. I'm going to give each of you a thumbs up. Okay, guys. See you. And I got a heart from the Jones family. Wow, look at this. This is so amazing. And another one from Whirling. This is incredible. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, guys, I will see you next week. Bye, 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 bye.